Have you ever wondered why things happen the way they do? Is it fate? Is it luck? Or perhaps, is it karma? The concept of karma, deeply rooted in Hinduism, Buddhism, and other Eastern philosophies, is often understood as cosmic justice, a system of moral cause and effect that guides the unfolding of our lives. But beyond this surface understanding lies a profound philosophy that invites us to be the architects of our own existence. Isn't it incredible to think that our lives are not governed by some distant, unfathomable force but by the very actions we choose to take every single day? Ready to transform your karma? Subscribe now and let's grow together. The word karma itself means action. It suggests that karma is not an abstract, mysterious force, rather, it is a law of cause and effect that is inherent to the very fabric of our lives. Every action, every thought, word, or deed, creates energy that comes back to us in some form. This makes karma not a system of reward and punishment, but a neutral, ever-present mirror reflecting our own behaviors, intentions, and consciousness. We are the ones who plant the seeds, and it is our actions that determine whether our garden flourishes or becomes a field of thorns. Think of it like this: every single thought, every emotion, every action, is a seed we plant in the soil of the universe. When we plant seeds of kindness, love, compassion, and generosity, we cultivate a garden that blooms with beauty, joy, and fulfillment. But when we sow seeds of anger, selfishness, or hatred, we often find ourselves surrounded by challenges, hardships, and suffering. Isn't it fascinating that the quality of our experiences is not dictated by some outside force but by the very essence of the seeds we choose to plant? This is karma, the law of sowing and reaping, and it serves as a powerful reminder that we are, indeed, the creators of our destiny. But here's the beautiful part: karma is not fixed or predetermined. We have the ability to change it, to transform it. Every moment is a new opportunity, a fresh beginning. We can create a different future by making different choices in the present. So, the real question is, how do we transform our karma? How do we take responsibility for our actions and steer our lives in a more positive direction? Let's take a deep dive into the transformative journey of karma, exploring how awareness, compassion, forgiveness, and intentional action can help us change our destiny. Can we change our karma? Absolutely, yes. Isn't it liberating to know that we are not bound by our past mistakes? That we have the power to transform our karma and create a better future for ourselves? Many Eastern philosophies teach that karma is fluid, constantly changing based on our present actions, thoughts, and intentions. In Buddhism, especially, karma is seen as something that can be molded and reshaped, not a rigid fate set in stone. Each moment presents us with a choice to act with kindness, to speak with honesty, to think with compassion. These choices accumulate, gradually shifting the trajectory of our karma. How empowering is that? Awareness and self-reflection. Awareness is the bedrock of any transformation. How can we change our karma if we don't first understand ourselves, our thoughts, our habits, our reactions? Imagine trying to change the course of a river without knowing where it flows or where its obstacles lie. It would be nearly impossible, wouldn't it? In the same way, changing our karma requires us to first understand the currents of our own minds. Self-reflection is the gateway to this understanding. It's about taking a step back and observing our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors without judgment. Are there certain patterns in our lives that keep repeating? Do we often find ourselves in similar conflicts or difficult situations? These recurring patterns are clues. They point to unresolved karma, habitual ways of thinking and acting that are keeping us stuck. By becoming aware of these patterns, we gain the power to break free from them. This awareness often comes through mindfulness practices like meditation, where we sit quietly with ourselves, observing our thoughts without getting caught up in them. Meditation is not about suppressing thoughts or emotions, it's about observing them with curiosity and compassion, understanding where they come from, and choosing how to respond. Isn't it beautiful that simply by being present with ourselves, we can begin to unravel the karmic knots that bind us? Intentional positive actions and compassion. What does it mean to live with intention? In the context of karma, intention is everything. Karma is not just about what we do, it's about why we do it. Two people could perform the same action, but if their intentions are different, the karma they create will also be different. For example, giving money to charity out of a desire to look good creates a very different type of karma than giving out of genuine compassion for others. When we set the intention to help and uplift others, we align ourselves with positive energy, creating beneficial karma. Simple acts of kindness, generosity, and compassion have profound karmic impacts. Imagine the ripple effect of a single act of kindness, how it touches not only the recipient but also everyone they interact with, spreading positivity far beyond what we can see. Isn't that a wonderful thought? That each kind word or action has the potential to change the world in ways we may never fully understand? Buddhist teachings often emphasize the practice of metta, or loving kindness, which involves cultivating a mindset of compassion and goodwill toward all beings, including ourselves. This doesn't mean avoiding conflict or letting people take advantage of us, but rather approaching each situation with empathy and understanding, aiming to alleviate suffering rather than add to it. Imagine if, in every interaction, we asked ourselves, how can I bring more kindness into this moment? How can I alleviate suffering, even if just a little? How different would our lives be if we approached each day with this intention? Forgiveness and letting go. How often do we find ourselves holding on to anger, resentment, or grudges, replaying past hurts over and over in our minds? This, too, is karma. When we hold on to negative emotions, we keep ourselves stuck in cycles of pain and retribution, generating more negative karma. Forgiveness, on the other hand, is an act of liberation, a way to break free from these cycles and create space for healing and positive change. Forgiveness is not about condoning harmful behavior or pretending that we were never hurt. It's about releasing the emotional burden we carry, freeing ourselves from the chains of anger and resentment. Buddhism teaches that forgiveness is an act of self-compassion, a way to cleanse the heart and make room for joy and love. When we forgive others, we are not only helping them, we are helping ourselves, allowing ourselves to move forward without the weight of past grievances. Isn't it incredible that by letting go of the past, we can change the course of our future? But forgiveness is not always easy, is it? It requires courage, vulnerability, and a willingness to let go of our sense of righteousness. Sometimes, the hardest person to forgive is ourselves. We may carry guilt or shame for past mistakes, believing that we are unworthy of love or happiness. But what if we could see ourselves with the same compassion that we extend to others? What if we could recognize that we are all human, that we all make mistakes, and that we all deserve forgiveness? Imagine the freedom that comes from releasing ourselves from the prison of self-judgment, from embracing our imperfections with love and compassion. Transforming thoughts through meditation and mindfulness. The mind is the root of all karma. Our thoughts shape our actions, and our actions shape our lives. So, if we want to change our karma, we must first change the way we think. Meditation is one of the most powerful tools for transforming our thoughts and, consequently, our karma. Through meditation, we learn to observe our thoughts without getting caught up in them, to understand the underlying emotions and beliefs that drive our behavior, and to consciously choose different responses. Meditation is not about escaping reality or achieving some mystical state of enlightenment. It's about being fully present with ourselves, embracing both the light and the shadows within us. It's about cultivating a quality of presence and awareness that allows us to act with intention rather than reacting impulsively. Isn't it amazing that by simply sitting quietly with ourselves, we can develop the ability to reshape our thoughts, our actions, and ultimately our karma? Practices like loving-kindness meditation, or metta meditation, encourage us to generate feelings of compassion for ourselves and others. This practice helps dissolve negative thought patterns and replace them with positive, compassionate ways of relating to the world. Imagine spending just a few minutes each day sending thoughts of love and kindness to yourself, to your loved ones, to those who have hurt you, and to all beings everywhere. How might this change the way you see yourself and the world? How might it transform the energy you bring into each moment? Learning and growth, changing karma through inner transformation. Is karma a rigid, unchangeable destiny, or is it something we can transform? Eastern philosophies often teach that karma is like clay, malleable, shaped by the choices we make. Each experience, whether positive or negative, is an opportunity for growth and transformation. When we face challenges, we are given the chance to learn, to grow, and to change the trajectory of our karma. Inner transformation involves facing our own weaknesses and working through them. For example, if we struggle with impatience, we can choose to cultivate patience. If we tend toward jealousy, we can practice contentment and gratitude. Each time we make a conscious choice to act in alignment with positive values, we are actively transforming our karma. Isn't it empowering to know that every moment holds the potential for change? That each challenge is not an obstacle but an opportunity to grow and evolve? Growth is not always easy. It requires us to face uncomfortable truths about ourselves, to confront our fears and insecurities, and to take responsibility for our actions. But it is through this process of inner transformation that we create the conditions for positive karma to flourish. Imagine the courage it takes to look within, to face our own shadows, and to choose a different path. This is the essence of spiritual growth, a journey of self-discovery and transformation that leads to a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world. Aligning with Dharma and spiritual practice. Karma is not just about avoiding negative actions, it's also about living in alignment with our Dharma, or purpose. Dharma is often described as the right path or the actions that are in harmony with the natural order of the universe. When we live in alignment with our Dharma, we create positive karma because we are living in accordance with our true nature and purpose. But how do we know what our Dharma is? How do we discover our true purpose? This is a question that has puzzled seekers for centuries. Dharma is not something that is imposed upon us from the outside, it is something that arises from within, from our deepest values, passions, and talents. It is the unique contribution that each of us has to make to the world. When we align our actions with our Dharma, we experience a sense of fulfillment and joy that comes from living authentically. Isn't that what we all long for, to live a life that is meaningful and true? Spiritual practices, such as chanting, prayer, or rituals, can also help us transform our karma by aligning our intentions with higher values and deeper connections to the universe. In Buddhism, some believe that dedicating positive actions for the benefit of all beings can purify past karma, creating a more positive trajectory. Imagine dedicating each action, each thought, each word, for the benefit of all beings. How might this change the way you move through the world? How might it transform the energy you bring into each moment? The role of wisdom and compassion. Wisdom and compassion are like two wings of a bird, both are needed to soar. In Buddhism, these two qualities are considered essential for transforming karma. Wisdom allows us to see things clearly, to understand the causes of our suffering, and to recognize the impermanent nature of all things. Compassion, on the other hand, motivates us to act in ways that alleviate suffering for ourselves and others. Without wisdom, compassion can be misguided, leading us to take actions that may have unintended negative consequences. Without compassion, wisdom can be cold and detached, lacking the warmth and empathy needed to truly connect with others. Together, wisdom and compassion form a balanced approach to life, guiding us toward actions that create positive karma and contribute to the well-being of all beings. Isn't it beautiful to think that by cultivating these qualities, we can create a life that is both meaningful and fulfilling? Wisdom is not just intellectual knowledge, it is a deep, intuitive understanding that arises from direct experience. It is the ability to see beyond appearances, to recognize the interconnectedness of all things, and to understand the deeper truths of existence. Compassion, on the other hand, is the heartfelt desire to alleviate suffering, to bring joy and peace to others. When we cultivate both wisdom and compassion, we are able to navigate the complexities of life with grace and clarity, creating positive karma and contributing to the greater good. A path of transformation and responsibility. Changing karma is an ongoing process that requires patience, dedication, and self-compassion. It's a journey of self-improvement and spiritual growth, where each positive choice builds upon the last, gradually transforming our lives. We may not be able to erase all of our past karma, but we can change its trajectory by taking responsibility for our actions and making conscious choices that align with love, kindness, and wisdom. Isn't it empowering to know that we have the power to shape our own destiny? Each moment is an opportunity to create positive karma, to plant seeds of kindness, compassion, and generosity. By consistently aligning our actions with these principles, we gradually shift the energy we bring into the world, positively influencing our karma. Each step forward represents a choice to change, to grow, and ultimately to rewrite our story. In this way, karma is not a sentence but a roadmap, a path of self-discovery and transformation that leads us to a life filled with purpose and joy. Imagine the ripple effect of your actions, how each positive choice you make not only transforms your own life but also touches the lives of those around you. Imagine the power of a single act of kindness, how it can inspire others to act with kindness, creating a chain of positivity that spreads far and wide. Isn't it incredible to think that we have the power to create such a ripple effect, to be a source of light in the world? Karma is not something to be feared or avoided, it is a gift, an invitation to take responsibility for our lives, to recognize the power we have to create change, and to live in alignment with our highest values. It is a reminder that every thought, every word, every action matters. That we are not powerless victims of fate, but powerful creators of our own destiny. And that, ultimately, the quality of our lives is determined not by what happens to us, but by how we choose to respond. So, why not choose to walk this path with intention and grace? Why not choose to plant seeds of love, compassion, and kindness, and watch as your life blossoms into something beautiful and fulfilling? The journey of karma is not always easy, but it is a journey worth taking, a journey that leads to a deeper understanding of ourselves, a greater connection with others, and a life filled with meaning and purpose. Let's take this journey together, one step at a time, creating a world that is more compassionate, more loving, and more just for all beings. Expanding the understanding of karma, exploring deeper dimensions. To further expand our understanding of karma, we must explore its deeper dimensions and consider how it interacts with various aspects of human experience, relationships, societal structures, and even the subtle interplay of energies that influence our lives. Karma is not limited to individual actions, it extends to collective consciousness, societal norms, and the broader tapestry of existence. This extended view of karma invites us to look beyond our personal experiences and see how our actions impact not only our immediate surroundings but the world at large. Collective karma, the interconnected web of humanity. Have you ever considered how the actions of a community, a nation, or even the entire world can create karma? Collective karma is the accumulated energy of all actions taken by a group, which influences the collective experience of that group. For example, a society that prioritizes compassion, equality, and justice creates positive collective karma, fostering an environment where individuals can thrive. Conversely, a society rooted in greed, inequality, and exploitation generates negative karma, which can manifest as social unrest, environmental degradation, and widespread suffering. Consider the environmental crisis we face today. It is a manifestation of collective karma, decades of unsustainable practices driven by greed and a lack of regard for the planet. The consequences of these actions are now affecting everyone, reminding us that we are all interconnected. Isn't it humbling to realize that our actions, no matter how small, contribute to the collective karma of humanity? By making conscious choices to live sustainably, to reduce harm, and to care for the environment, we can contribute to positive collective karma and help heal the planet. Collective karma also plays a role in the dynamics of families and communities. Have you ever noticed how certain patterns seem to repeat across generations? These patterns are often the result of collective family karma, unresolved issues, beliefs, and behaviors passed down from one generation to the next. By becoming aware of these patterns and choosing to break the cycle, we can transform not only our own karma but also the karma of future generations. Imagine the impact of healing generational wounds, of choosing love and compassion over fear and resentment. How might this change the lives of those who come after us? Karma and relationships, the mirror of our inner world. Relationships are one of the most powerful arenas in which karma plays out. Have you ever noticed how certain types of relationships or conflicts seem to repeat in your life? Perhaps you find yourself attracting the same kind of partner, facing similar challenges, or experiencing the same misunderstandings. These recurring patterns are often karmic in nature, opportunities for growth and healing that present themselves until we learn the lessons they are meant to teach. Karmic relationships are not limited to romantic connections, they can also manifest in friendships, family dynamics, and even work relationships. The people we attract into our lives often serve as mirrors, reflecting back to us the aspects of ourselves that need healing or growth. Isn't it fascinating to think that the challenges we face in relationships are not just random occurrences but are, in fact, opportunities for karmic healing and transformation? Imagine approaching each relationship with the understanding that it is a part of your karmic journey, a chance to grow, to heal, and to evolve. Instead of blaming others for our pain, we can choose to see the lessons they bring, to take responsibility for our own actions, and to cultivate compassion for both ourselves and others. This shift in perspective can transform even the most challenging relationships into profound opportunities for growth and healing. The subtle energies of karma, vibrations and intentions. Karma is not just about physical actions, it also encompasses the subtle energies that we emit through our thoughts, emotions, and intentions. Have you ever walked into a room and immediately felt a certain energy, whether it was uplifting and positive or heavy and tense? This is the result of the subtle energies that people bring into a space, and it is deeply connected to karma. Our thoughts and emotions emit vibrations that influence the energy around us. When we cultivate positive thoughts, feelings of love, compassion, and gratitude, we emit high-frequency vibrations that uplift not only ourselves but also those around us. Conversely, negative thoughts, such as anger, jealousy, and fear, emit low-frequency vibrations that can create a heavy, stagnant energy. Isn't it incredible to think that our inner world has the power to influence the energy of our environment? This understanding of karma as subtle energy invites us to take responsibility for our inner state. By practicing mindfulness, meditation, and intentional positive thinking, we can elevate our vibrations and create an environment that is conducive to positive karma. Imagine the impact of walking through the world with an open heart, radiating love and compassion. How might this change not only your own life but also the lives of those you encounter? Karma and the path of service, selflessness as a means of transformation. One of the most powerful ways to transform karma is through selfless service, or seva. In many spiritual traditions, selfless service is seen as a path to spiritual growth and the purification of karma. When we serve others without any expectation of reward or recognition, we align ourselves with the energy of love and compassion, creating positive karma that benefits not only ourselves but also the world. Service can take many forms: volunteering at a shelter, offering a listening ear to someone in need, or simply performing acts of kindness in our daily lives. The key is to serve with a pure heart, without attachment to the outcome. Isn't it beautiful to think that by giving of ourselves, we can create a ripple effect of positivity that touches countless lives? Selfless service also helps us transcend the ego, which is often the source of negative karma. The ego is concerned with self-interest, with gaining recognition, power, or material wealth. When we engage in selfless service, we shift our focus from the ego to the heart, from self-interest to the well-being of others. This shift in perspective not only transforms our karma but also brings a deep sense of fulfillment and joy. Imagine the joy that comes from knowing that your actions have made a positive difference in someone's life. Isn't that the essence of true happiness? The interplay of karma and free will, choosing our path. One of the most profound aspects of karma is its relationship with free will. If karma is the law of cause and effect, then where does free will come into play? Are we simply at the mercy of our past actions, or do we have the power to choose our destiny? The answer lies in the delicate interplay between karma and free will. Karma is the result of our past actions, but it does not dictate our future actions. Each moment presents us with a choice to act in alignment with love, compassion, and wisdom, or to fall back into old, negative patterns. Free will is the power we have to make these choices, to create new karma, and to shape our destiny. Isn't it empowering to know that, no matter what has happened in the past, we have the power to choose a different path? This interplay between karma and free will also means that we are never victims of circumstance. While we may face challenges that are the result of past karma, we always have the power to choose how we respond. We can choose to respond with patience, understanding, and compassion, thereby creating positive karma, or we can choose to react with anger and resentment, perpetuating negative karma. The choice is always ours. Karma and spiritual awakening, the journey to enlightenment. For those on a spiritual path, karma is not just about creating a better life in the material world, it is also a tool for spiritual awakening. The ultimate goal of many spiritual traditions is enlightenment, a state of being free from the cycle of birth and death, free from karma. Enlightenment is the realization of our true nature, the recognition that we are not separate individuals but part of the infinite, interconnected whole. Karma plays a crucial role in this journey. As long as we are bound by karma, we are bound by the cycle of samsara, the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. Each action we take creates karma, which determines our future experiences. The goal of spiritual practice is to purify our karma, to transcend the ego, and to realize our true nature as pure consciousness. Isn't it awe-inspiring to think that, through our actions, we have the power to transcend the limitations of the material world and realize our infinite potential? The path to enlightenment is not about escaping karma but about transforming it. It is about living in such a way that our actions are in alignment with the highest truth, that we create no new karma and purify the karma we have accumulated. This requires a deep commitment to self-awareness, compassion, and spiritual practice. It is a journey of letting go of attachments, letting go of the ego, and letting go of the illusion of separation. Imagine the freedom that comes from realizing that you are not bound by the past, that you are not defined by your actions, but that you are, in essence, infinite and free. Karma and the power of intention, creating a life of purpose. At the heart of karma is intention. It is not just what we do that matters, but why we do it. Our intentions set the tone for our actions and determine the type of karma we create. Have you ever noticed how two people can do the same thing, yet the energy behind their actions feels completely different? One person may act out of love and compassion, while another may act out of a desire for recognition or control. The karma created by these actions will be vastly different because the intentions behind them are different. This understanding of the power of intention invites us to examine our motivations. Why do we do what we do? Are our actions driven by love, compassion, and a desire to serve, or are they driven by fear, insecurity, or the need for approval? By becoming aware of our intentions, we can begin to align them with our highest values, creating positive karma that supports our growth and the well-being of others. Intention also plays a crucial role in manifesting our desires. When we set an intention, we are planting a seed in the fertile soil of the universe. By nurturing that seed with positive thoughts, actions, and emotions, we can bring our intentions to fruition. But it is important to remember that our intentions must be in alignment with the greater good. When we set intentions that are rooted in love and compassion, we align ourselves with the natural flow of the universe, and our desires are more likely to manifest. Isn't it incredible to think that, through the power of intention, we have the ability to create a life of purpose and fulfillment? Living with karma, a daily practice of mindfulness and compassion. Karma is not just a philosophical concept, it is a way of life. It is a daily practice of mindfulness, compassion, and intentional action. Each day presents us with countless opportunities to create positive karma, to act with kindness, to speak with honesty, to think with compassion. By embracing karma as a guiding principle in our lives, we can create a life that is not only fulfilling for ourselves but also beneficial to others. Imagine starting each day with the intention to create positive karma. How might this change the way you move through the world? How might it influence the choices you make, the way you treat others, and the way you treat yourself? By living with intention, by being mindful of our thoughts, words, and actions, we can create a life that is rich with meaning, joy, and connection. Karma also teaches us the importance of self-compassion. We are all on a journey, and we all make mistakes. There will be times when we fall short of our ideals, when we act out of fear or anger rather than love and compassion. In these moments, it is important to remember that karma is not about punishment, it is about learning and growth. Each mistake is an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to make a different choice next time. By treating ourselves with compassion, we can break the cycle of negative karma and create a path of healing and transformation. The ripple effect of karma, creating a better world. The impact of karma goes far beyond our individual lives. Each action we take creates a ripple effect that touches the lives of others, influencing the collective karma of humanity. Imagine the impact of a single act of kindness, how it can inspire others to act with kindness, creating a chain reaction that spreads far and wide. Isn't it amazing to think that, through our actions, we have the power to create a better world? By living in alignment with the principles of karma, by acting with love, compassion, and integrity, we can contribute to the collective well-being of humanity. We can create a world that is more just, more compassionate, and more connected. This is the true power of karma, the ability to create positive change, not only in our own lives but in the world at large. Imagine a world where everyone lived with the understanding that their actions matter, that every thought, word, and deed creates karma that influences not only their own lives but the lives of others. Imagine a world where people acted with compassion, where they treated each other with kindness and respect, where they took responsibility for their actions and their impact on the world. This is the world that karma invites us to create, a world that is more loving, more just, and more connected. A journey of transformation and empowerment. Understanding karma is a journey of self-discovery, transformation, and empowerment. It is a journey that invites us to take responsibility for our lives, to recognize the power we have to create change, and to live in alignment with our highest values. It is a journey that teaches us that we are not powerless victims of fate, but powerful creators of our own destiny. Karma is not a sentence, it is a roadmap, a guide that shows us the way to a life filled with purpose, joy, and connection. By embracing the principles of karma, awareness, compassion, forgiveness, intentional action, and selfless service, we can transform our lives and create a ripple effect of positivity that touches the lives of others. We can create a world that is more compassionate, more loving, and more just for all beings. So, let us walk this path together, with intention and grace. Let us plant seeds of love, compassion, and kindness, and watch as our lives, and the world, blossom into something beautiful and fulfilling. The journey of karma is not always easy, but it is a journey worth taking, a journey that leads to a deeper understanding of ourselves, a greater connection with others, and a life filled with meaning and purpose. Let us take this journey together, one step at a time, creating a world that is more compassionate, more loving, and more just for all beings.